Happy Gladiator Wednesday to those of you who celebrate, which is all of you. Plenty of stuff to put it back in play on the platform of the people right now. We got what I consider one of the best drafting weeks of the year. I mean, we got playoff basketball, we got all these contests popping up, and you got the BR slate, which is, just take all the bad teams off of your standard BR slate, and here we are. Beautiful stuff. But want to start the show a little differently today because we've talked so much about swaps. They're an intricate part of our game, but I think they lead into this slate greatly. Both for NBA, obviously, every night we talk about the Q tags, but then this weekend there are a lot of Q tags in the BR street. So I just want to get this like definitively clear right off the hop for everyone right now. The swap order in which players swap, round one first. So pick six is the 101 of swap. So it goes 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it goes 12, 11, 10, 9. So reverse snake all the way back up the board, starting from round one, which makes it more advantageous. I'm just going to use an example here. His ADP doesn't directly line up. But hypothetically speaking, you wanted to get overweight the field this week on AJ Brown. The most advantageous position to do it from would be the 106. And if you were clicking on that turn, you're doing the double tap, you should always take him at the 106 opposed to at pick 7 because you get number 1 swap priority from pick 6 versus if you let it go all the way back there to pick 7, you take it as the 12th priority. So just wanted to get that definitive clear. It's something we've talked a lot about in the past. Neumy pinned, if you want more detail, he pinned it in our Deposit Kingdom Discord. But we got to talk about that right off the hop. And then now I'll bring in the face of the franchise, the man that you actually want to hear from. Nezzy, what's up, man?
Johnny, great explanation. I think we can finally put this shit to rest that we actually know how swaps work now.
Yeah.
We've covered this topic like 3 times. It's never been fully accurate, but that answer actually makes the most sense too, right? Like that is everything else that we heard was like, well, like that's kind of weird. This one actually like makes the most sense.
Yeah, because it feels like if you spent the highest amount of draft capital on a questionable player, you should then be rewarded with the highest priority swap, right?
Yeah.
Which then also kind of makes like if we're dealing with like the Luka Q tags or the Embiid Q tags at the front end of the draft board, it makes them some of the greatest picks around if they fall to like 5 or 6 on certain days, right?
Yeah, that becomes, and like you said, it's very important too when you make those picks too, which is like kind of interesting. If you are at that 1-2 turn, like you mentioned, making sure it is that first pick. It adds some fun wrinkles to these games.
Because I was thinking about it through the lens of if you set your own rankings and you did like auto draft, right? You should put LeBron at 6 every single time. Because even if you think he's like the 7th place player or like, maybe you think he's 5, whatever, put him at 5 or 6, never at 7 or 8, because you're basically taking, 6 to 8 picks of swap priority away. Now, granted, if no Q tags are taken in the middle, blah, 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 whatever. But I don't know. I just thinking through these micro edges we love to talk about.
Yeah, it'd also be a whole nother thing if the LeBron Q tag was ever real too.
That's true. He plays every damn time.
That LeBron will play notification. I always like, just for me, nobody else. I always get that notification. I'm like, yeah, like LeBron's playing.
Right? It's such an artificial sweat.
It's the best. It's like they tell you it every day. LeBron James will play. And
yeah,
thank God.
Oh man. We got tons of stuff going on in the chat here. Sup, Acid, the Pound. Oh, Nick's in here with the fellas. Neumy doing the Lord's work. Like and subscribe as you come in the door, please and thank you. But Nazzy, we got to start right here because I'm going to give people the definitive 101 narrative of why they should become members on the site. Okay. Why you should become a member of this channel right now. And as much as we love Nez in the morning, we love the rankings show, we love the promise of what's going to be coming in the future on the badges only, That's not why they're going to sign up. You sign up for the run good associated with it. All right. So let me tell you this story. Fully Loaded slides the DMs yesterday on Twitter and he goes, "Yeah, man, I can't find like the join button or whatever. It's a mobile issue. It's not a him issue. It's not an us issue. If you're going to sign up, just do it on the browser. It's easy to find the join button." Anyways, we talked through this a little bit. Who goes on to scoop first and second place in the Hoop Streets last night for 10 plus K? Who won, Nez? Do you know?
Is his name rhyme with bully toted?
It absolutely does. So Fully Loaded scoops the leaderboard last night. What was his action that he did right before scooping said leaderboard? Click that membership join button.
Boom.
Oh man. The run good came funneling his way from the BadgeBros pockets to his. You love to see it.
So I'm guessing he ends up joining, runs back the members only show, fades me completely. Just uses me as a fade god and then scoops because I tell you what, man, fading Kyrie Irving was not the move to make money last night.
Well, you can't predict injuries and you can't predict I guess it was Xavier Tillman or Bismack Biyombo, one of the two bigs in the middle there that fell on Luka and then limited Luka's minutes and he went in and out of the locker room a couple times there and yeah. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. ADP always wins, man. It's just it's this mystical, magical force in the universe. Like it doesn't matter if ADP is good or bad. It's always gonna win. Always. Like it's insane.
I love it. Shout out Chad becoming a member here. Shout out our guy Mike Zakarian with Team Hold. Go subscribe to Team Hold over there, doing great stuff as well while you're there. But second day being a BadgeBros member and it's life-changing experience. Love to see it. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Appreciate the love. There we go. Yeah, anyways, we gotta fire out two more shout outs. Both our guy Brendo and Noah doing damage in the puck streets last night. I mean, evergreen that the puck guys are getting home here.
Puck streets are ran strictly by the people in the puck thread. Like nobody else is coming close.
No, yeah, every single night, man. Like some combination of those two, GA, Freezer, whoever else, DJ Sabes, they're always just up there. Yeah, let's talk a little. Actually, I have one more thing on the docket I want to hit you on. Have you been paying attention to this Gilbert Arenas, the shootout event that they're going to be putting on next weekend?
And I gotta tell you, man, I'm incredibly envious because I've seen some footage of these participants. I know my shot is so much more pure than some of these folks.
Well, I know. I would like to attest to that sentiment, Nez, but I cannot because I did not see you get up any jumpers when we were in Miami. You were too busy prepping for the event itself and that sort of thing. So you weren't playing hoops with us. I could see though, with your fresh new Mike Bibby adjacent haircut with the fade up on the sides, I could tell your jumper is wet from here, man.
This old thing? What are you talking about? No, that's all I had. I was D3 in high school. That was it. That was it. But no, I'm jealous, and no, it looks like a lot of fun, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty cool, unique thing that they're doing.
I knew they did the qualifier a couple weeks back there out in California, but then I didn't realize that there was kind of like a celebrity, like in quotations, bracket there. And then Jack was on the club yesterday and he was talking about how he hasn't even got shots up. I'm like, dude, you're playing for 100K. Like, you got to find a gym, man. Like, I know New York's a busy place, but then all of a sudden yesterday you get pictures and video footage of CSU Ram. He's got a gym to himself. It looked like Gator was probably under the basket, throwing him back to him, coaching him up, elbow tight, get up in there. And that's what Jack's going to be competing against. Like, come on, man.
It's like you said, it's not like this is just for fun, man. That's 100 G's. Everybody could use 100 G's.
Dude, not to mention just saying that you beat Gilbert Arenas in a shooting contest. Like, can you imagine just like having that badge? I would tell every single person I met ever over the first beer every single time. That would be like my go-to story.
So is that the rule? Is that how it works? You have to beat Gilbert himself for the 100K?
No, it's like a sequence. It's like
Gotcha.
25 shots from like mid range, then they back up to I think high school 3-pointer, then the college 3-pointer, then
Okay.
the pro 3-pointer, and they're shooting out of a rack too. So I think it's like
Ooh.
head to head though. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The rack is a whole different that's a whole different ball game with the rack, because like I'm a guy like I need a waist high pass, like pop.
Yeah, yeah.
I
You're
need I
catch and
need
shoot guy.
I need off the dribble, left hand pop off the rack. Like that's tricky. That's a whole different flow.
Yeah, I've never shot out of a rack, so I don't even think I can attest to
No,
it.
no, no,
Right? Yeah.
I'm not playing the closest I've did is we had this thing called the gun in high
Okay.
school. I don't know if you've seen it. It has a big net around the hoop.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yep. And then you just like is we had it for like our school gym, but that's like the closest thing I had to. But there was actually TJ McConnell had one his own personal gun, and his dad would make him shoot like 3,000 shots a day or something. My dad told me this because he like wanted me to be TJ McConnell, and now I'm a streamer on YouTube. So who's really winning? But
Who's
yeah.
drafting TJ McConnell this evening?
Oh, your boy, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's definitely goals down the road. I need my own gun.
Oh man, yeah. When BadgeBros shootout, yeah, one day, right? It sounds like Paul wants something too. What's EN? What's EN?
I won pick 'em. I think
Oh,
he might have. Yeah, I think he was
drama,
victim
yeah.
to autocorrect.
Victim to autocorrect. He won pick 'em last night. Love to see
There you
it.
go.
That's good. Johnny Basketballs, I'd love to give you a shout, man, but we don't talk about them redacted streets around here, pal. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got to win it on the platform or it doesn't count.
those are fake. Those are fake dollars.
Yeah, they don't count the same.
Not real.
Oh, jeez. What do you say we dive into NFL? I got the NFL itch right now. We'll
Have
talk
to.
through. Yeah, we will talk through the hoop stuff now. But like, dude, this slate is fun.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you can get Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown in the 3rd and 4th round, against a pass funnel defense. You can get like some premium talent that's falling like 5th and 6th round. It is really fun to draft. And we're dealing with like some game totals, Nez, that are way higher than we were seeing on 9 and 10 game slates in the middle of the season, because we're actually getting some marquee dome matchups for a change.
I know. Thank God some of these games are in a dome. Like the Cleveland Texans game could have easily been super ugly and played it in Cleveland instead, and that would have just been god awful. So thank God for that. And also, like, I don't know what's up with these like injury reports right now. I got you here. Boom.
Thank you.
But like, there's like a lack of injury reports right now. Like I haven't heard anything about AJ Brown. Like, is he on the field? Like what's going on there? I just had to do a Google or a YouTube or a third time's a charm, a Twitter search
Yeah.
for Christian Watson, find out that he's on the practice field that's open to the media. They're just stretching, but he's out there. Like,
But he's out there.
so much is like ambiguous right now, and we don't really have an idea of what's going on. But no, this is like the Thanksgiving slate on steroids.
Yeah, that's a very good analogy, like Thanksgiving slate on steroids. But yeah, I think there's two things you hit on that are really good there. There's two bad weather environments. One might be the coldest game we've ever seen played, and that's at Kansas City. Miami, you can go spin zone narratives of warm weather and they're not accustomed to these conditions, and now they're going into the frigid cold, blah blah blah. There's that one, and then the Bills one, it looks like there's going to be some snow, maybe not as cold as Kansas City, but same sort of thing. And then the dome games, as you alluded to. The second, like, just like overarching narrative, I guess, with the slate, with the Q tag stuff, is I think teams are keeping their cards closer to their vest come playoff time. Does that make sense to you? Like they'll file their practice reports as they're supposed to and as they're whatever, but obviously we haven't had an Eagles practice report because they're the Monday game yet, right? So I think like teams are maybe more concerted effort to be like not show our hand earlier than we have to.
Probably, definitely some gamesmanship there. If they don't have to be fully transparent, why would they? So
Yeah.
anytime that there's a spot to be murky in their reporting, then they certainly will. Like the Raheem Mostert stuff right now, the latest on him is he might play. Decision is still yet to be made, so a little bit of murkiness there. And then the other thing, just in this game, just to real quickly, Jerick McKinnon, this is more like for gauntlet stuff. He's like officially not coming back
Okay.
this postseason. So, I mean, if you feel like that does anything for Pacheco or maybe your backdoor, CEH or something in the gauntlet drafts, you can do that too. But no, definitely point stands that teams are going to be. We could take advantage of this though and just put on our rose-colored glasses and assume everybody's going to play.
Like it. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because like I think the ones I'm most scared of are Devonta Smith. Mostert, I think, plays. Mostert's been playing hurt all year. I don't know. We kind of went rogue with the Q tag stuff here, but now my mind's like moving all over the place. The Smith one seems the most significant. The most recent note on the AJ Brown one was they think he's going to try and play. Like that's whatever. I think that one he's going to play, and I think there's some easy swaps even if he doesn't play. Like you can get a little Quez Watkins who had a nice game last week, or you can get yourself Chris Godwin, who goes undrafted a lot. So I think there's some decent backdoor outs because both sides of that game look pretty attractive. But yeah, yeah. Let's go game by game and think through some stuff here. Although I'm triggered as hell because Juice McCaffrey just hit me with the shutout Killian Hayes there. Yeah, I had the absolute nuts last night, Nez, and if I had picked any other player in the 6th round, like literally any other player with a pulse, I needed 9 more points. I would have finished first instead of 12th there and spoiled fully loaded's night. But unfortunately, I am a chalk donk, and I just aped in on the Killian Hayes there.
I wasn't going to say anything. I didn't want to open that wound up, but at least what I would have done. Like if Chris Boucher had outscored Killian Hayes by 10 points, I would have made sure that you knew.
Chris Boucher, I will take that one to the grave. That was the dumbest play on the slate, period. Anyone with half a brain knew they needed size at the 5, and they were going to start either Thad Young or whatever the other kid's name is. I can't remember right now, but I was doing research yesterday, and I was like, they're starting with the size at the 5, and then AD plays all 12 minutes in the first quarter the way they do their rotations, and they're just going to let this kid eat like 3 fouls, and then whatever. Yeah. Okay, here. This makes me feel better. Thank you, Nick. Or if I had selected Cole Anthony, I still would have lost. So you know what? There we go. There we go. That makes me feel better. Yeah, here, Porter. There you go. Thank you. All right, let's talk about this. What are our thoughts on the Browns and Texans? As this one in a dome, 44.5. Browns are road favorites here. We got the news this morning that Amari Cooper will definitively play. Are we just buying into what Joe Flacco has been doing for the last 5 weeks and just going, yep, wheels up on Browns pass attack?
Yes. I mean, for me, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think when it comes to these playoffs, the Browns to me stand out in a pretty big way for like real life football, at least, which is the fact that like their defense is good and their offense is competent, which if you can say that about a team in the playoffs, like that immediately makes them like a feared team, I mean,
right.
Say what you will. So I really like the Browns in this matchup. The Texans, I know, are the from what I've heard from people that I trust and are smarter than me, Texans have a pretty nice run defense. But the Browns also are like the kings of neutral pass rate right now. So who kind of cares? To me, it's just a shame these Texans don't have Tank Dell because I'm just not sure that they're going to be like in a playoff scenario. Like I know Stroud's been awesome and I know Nico's been amazing. This team just doesn't feel hard to stop in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah. I think that's fair. And then when you layer on the fact that Cleveland has the number one, well, it depends how you look at it, but they have the number one defense against the pass in terms of yardage allowed per game. If I were to just throw that number at you, Nez, what number do you think in terms of pass yards per game did the Browns allow their opponents to this year?
I would say, I mean, like, I have no reference on this. It's like 261.
Yeah, so I set you up for failure purposefully to be dramatic about this because it was 164.7. So, like,
Christ.
when you think of pass yards per game and you think about that, like, that's, nobody's hitting any hires with that. That's what we're going to need from one receiver or one running back on this slate to win said slate. And that's what they've been allowing to an entirety of an offense per game. So, I don't know. Not blanket stats like these, obviously, grain of salt, not as transferable. But my point just being that it was going to be like a shockingly low number.
And it is shockingly low because I was off
Yeah.
by a whole century mark. So that's really impressive. This should be a really fun game.
Yeah,
Like I said, I'm
I
glad it's in
agree.
a dome.
I think there's some sneaky plays to get to if you want to just throw the DVP and throw the stuff out the window and just go scroll the F down. I think, getting to Jerome Ford, Pierce Strong's on the injury report, blah, blah, blah. They're probably going to just go back to the Ford and Hunt backfield, but Hunt is on the injury report as well right now. I think, all three of them are active this week. It's too soon to tell. But if you want to play this through contrarian fashion, well, what's the leverage off of wide receiver 5 in Amari Cooper and tight end 1 in Njoku and all this pass rate stuff is, well, maybe they sling it a few times to get it down there, and then Jerome Ford punches it in twice, and he's the guy you need. So I think there's like some contrarian levers to pull, even if you still just like the pass game spot here. Like, probably not enough people are going to get to Singletary and Ford here.
No, I don't think so either. On the Texan side too, I think Schultz is also like pretty easily gettable as well. In a tight end slate isn't awful. It's pretty good. But I think Schultz is definitely interesting because I do see them having to pass a lot in order to beat the Browns. So, yeah, Ford I think makes a lot of sense in this because I do think that the Browns win. So,
Okay.
Ford, I could see Ford getting in the end zone, like you said a couple times here. I seriously think the Browns are dangerous. I really do, which is like an insane thing to say.
Dude, like if you had told me before the season that the Browns are 11-6 and they're in the postseason and whatever, I would have been like, oh, Deshaun Watson had like a huge resurgent year.
Yeah.
Like that was the only possible way that this could come to fruition. And the fact that they've just had, quarterback carousel and now it's Joe Flacco that's opening this team up is just incredible. It's such a good story.
I would love to know like what took place for them to, because it seems like they had an offensive philosophical change when Flacco got there and they were like, oh, now we can pass the ball a ton.
Right. Yeah.
Why
like
is that?
what? Yeah. Why is that? Right. Exactly.
What the hell is going on here? Does Deshaun suck? Did he not want to pass a lot? Like what is going on? But yeah, so I'm pumped for this game, and I got plenty of Browns bags in the playoff best ball streets.
Yeah, that's what Neil's alluding to here. If you guys don't know Neil, go follow him on Twitter. He puts out some really cool data and charts based on like he did. I think it was his first 50 mittens or something like that. Then does a little tweet thread with some great graphics and comparing Super Bowl odds to ownership, basically in terms of stacks and stuff. I found it very valuable. It was very cool. I retweeted it earlier. So, anyways, go check that one.
Cosign. Neil's a great follow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Matt with a little sharp point here that it was actually 2 receiving touchdowns for Ford. So I mean, he's utilized in that pass catching role as well. So you could do some contrarian stacking of like Flacco and Ford or Flacco, Njoku and Ford instead of like the chalky 3-person stack. We'll get into some of the combos that are kind of emerging that I've seen in these BRs thus far, that it's like, when people are staying in their lane, there's some very chalky patterns that keep occurring, right? Yeah. while we're talking about the defensive pass yards and blah 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 allowed, I'm gonna skip all these games just for 1 second and go down to Eagles and Bucks. Eagles and Bucks is a weird game because Baker's hurt. We've seen kind of a flippening between Godwin and Evans in the last 3 weeks. The Eagles have lost 5 of their last 6 games. Plus now is Hurts banged up with the finger thing. Is AJ Brown healthy? Is Devonta Smith healthy? Swift missed last week as well. Like this, everything is trending due south for the Eagles. But when we talk about this from a daily slate lens, the reason I jumped here was on the complete other end of the spectrum of the Browns. Nez, are Tampa Bay allowing 248 yards per game, and the Eagles allowing 252 yards per game via the air. So just wanted to share the complete other end of the spectrum of flow charting is in this game here.
So just to be clear,
yeah,
like we've known that these are defenses to target in the past games. You're telling me that the worst defense of the NFL this season are only giving up 240 and like 250 passing yards. Like what happened? What the hell happened to our great offenses? Like that is, those numbers would be like in the the 300s. I feel like in the golden era. That's just like, that just seems so crazy low to be like, oh yeah. I mean, I know that the results are real, but I'm sorry, that just blew my mind.
No, it blows my mind as well. I'm in lockstep with you there because like we talked about it throughout the year, man. Like just on these slates, how low the totals were. I don't know, like I haven't done like the whole go back and look at, was offense up or down and blah blah blah. Like I can't help but think that like almost everything offensively was down this year outside of the Niners.
It was for certain, and I feel like it's more than just too high safety. But at any rate, no, trust me, I saw this game, got hard eyes for it, and it's a shame that they're calling for a little bit of sprinkle, so we have to put the total down to 43.5 because it might rain. So we all know no points can be scored in the rain.
It's Tampa, man. It's going to rain for 15 minutes, torrential downpour, then it's going to be sunny again, and we're going to be good to go.
It's going to be fine. And this is an awesome, awesome game. I know we'll have playoff best ball talk, but I mean, the Eagles are just dropping like flies right now in the playoff best ball streets, and these receivers could have monster days against this Bucs secondary, and vice versa too. Like Evans and Godwin could eat against these Eagles. And Godwin goes very much overlooked as a one-off in playoff best ball. And then, like you mentioned earlier, he's going way overlooked in the daily streets. And I think that that's a mistake because have you seen like the catalyst for Godwin's kind of resurgence?
His wife?
The missus.
Yeah.
The missus got on coach's ass and said, quit lying on my mans, and get him the fucking ball. And so they did. So they did. And now I'm a believer in this game. I mean, that total of 43.5, I think gets eclipsed and then some. Like, I think this has like highest scoring game on the slate potential. And you're looking at a 43.5 total. We're not that type of show, but man, oh man.
Yeah, this gives me like some weird like deja vu to last year here, where we were playing this same BR slate, wildcard weekend, such a good slate in general, and we had that Cowboys and Brady game on the Monday night or on the I don't know if they did a Monday night last year or if it was just the last game on Sunday. So it was the last game of the slate. And I was all like, oh, baby, here we go. Brady's offense just exploded the last time they played. He just won me the bomb. Oh, man, here we go. And I did this slate and I did look at this pass funnel. I'm aping the F in on this. And it just gives me this eerie ass deja vu that we get like that 21-13 clunker with a little bit of like misty rain.
Trust me, it's on the back of my mind, but I'm contractually obligated to no longer care about the weather. So I simply can't worry about it. Like, I don't even care that it's going to be colder than shit in Kansas City.
Okay.
I simply am not allowed to be bothered. But
Okay,
that
so
is definitely a scary thing.
let's talk about that. Does it actually like scare you that we have a Dolphins team that may or may not be without Waddle? Armstead is obviously a huge part of that offense and their ability to protect Tua and run the football. He's on the injury report right now. Might just be practice day off, but obviously something to watch because their splits with and without him this year are pretty significant because they were without him for 7 games, I believe. Anyways, just something little nugget put in the back of your head and keep checking kind of thing. But you said the Mostert one, the Waddle one, and Kansas City hasn't looked like Kansas City in a really long time. Like Mahomes has looked mid as hell, hasn't crossed 20 points in God knows when. Can we confidently go to this game environment with the weather concerns, with how these offenses are looking, and the Q tags?
I mean, you kind of, I think I don't want to double count the weather here, but I it definitely has like some effect, right? Now I'm still getting to plenty of Pacheco because he's like the only thing really going right fantasy wise for these Chiefs outside of my son Rashee Rice. But but man, like with this, not that this matchup is terrible, but with the matchup plus the weather, it does have me like fading or being less bullish on Rice. Like he has like a 20 ADP. If this was played with fine weather and not like negative 20 temps, I would probably have Rice at like pick 12. Just because he just is the engine in that passing offense now. So I mean, I am a little concerned there, but thankfully on the Miami side, like their offense is so concentrated that like it doesn't even matter that there's bad weather. Like it's gonna be Hill, Achane, Mostert, and maybe Waddle. I think Waddle. Well, they said they think Waddle plays, so it doesn't change anything.
Yeah. Couple things there. Narrative streetwise, wouldn't it be pretty like I could see it both ways. Wouldn't it be pretty badass to just see Tyreek Hill run for like, 230 against them, be like, I was the reason your teams were so good, not Mahomes throwing up deuces at Kansas City in Kansas City. Wouldn't that be pretty just sick for football?
Oh yeah. That'd be fantastic.
That'd be pretty dope. Now on the flip side, couldn't you just see like maybe this is the healthiest in which Mahomes and Kelsey have both been this late in the season? Mahomes, people forget, like was hobbled by the ankle in the postseason, both last year and the year before that. Now all of a sudden we have this situation where this team's still here. They're still 11-6, but they've looked putrid up until getting here, but at least they're healthy. And, we see a vintage Mahomes Kelsey stack, 3 touchdowns breaks this slate.
I'm not putting that in my range of outcomes for Kelsey.
All right,
personally,
you think we're just done with it?
Man, and Njoku's ADP is over him now. Like I think it's really happened. Like I don't know. Maybe he was injured, and maybe this from not playing last week to now he got like enough healthier that he can't that is now in his bag of tricks. But dude, I just don't. I'm just out. Like I'm out. Like I'm out. I got nothing else to say, man. I'm just out on that. It could hurt. It could hurt me big time.
I don't know. We haven't looked at ADP yet. We're obviously getting there. But like when I look at ADP this week, I just see how much recency bias is encapsulated in it. And I go, where are the leverage spots? And I go, holy shit. The leverage spots might actually be the best place. Hurts AJ Brown. Hurts AJ Brown 6 weeks ago when AJ Brown went on that rapid tear of 150 plus a score for 5 straight weeks. Hurts AJ Brown wasn't even obtainable in a BR lobby. Now we got a 6-game slate, and you can have it in the 3rd, 4th, sometimes 4th and 5th round right now. Mahomes Kelsey, the last year and a half, hasn't been obtainable. It's a freaking GM of the utmost priority. And now all of a sudden, hey man, just go ahead and backstack that with Mahomes in the fifth. You know, like have we gotten out front of our skis where we're like too reactionary to the future or to like the immediate of what has taken place, or are we smart in adapting our strategy so quickly?
I mean, I think we're smart.
All right.
I think you just have to, and I don't know like how that really changes in this game, really. You know, I mean, I know that
Okay.
maybe the Dolphins are just more banged up than I realized.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, dude, like it's just like the thing that made Kelsey so that makes him so viable is not that he's outscoring other tight ends by like 3 points or whatever. It's that he's giving you that nuts nuclear game that no other tight end can achieve. And
Right.
I'm just believing my eyes in that's just no longer a
In the
possibility
bag.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's entirely fair. Yeah, I mean, like football is like we know this, right? Like it's such a fast adapting, shifting landscape where if you can't relinquish your priors, i.e., me and Tony Pollard, you just fucking pay the rake, and that's what happens, right? So it's just for me like my peanut sized broken brain, Nez. I cannot relinquish the fact that Mahomes, Kelsey, 1-2 in BBM or something like that, and we're foregoing it for free agent Joe Flacco and David Njoku skinny stacks this week. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, how did we get here? How did we get here?
Father time, man. Father time.
Yeah,
Always
well,
undefeated.
I mean, Joe Flacco's the oldest dude in the world, so I don't
It's a good point.
know. Let's is there anything else you want to say about that? I mean, we could also hit on the backfields here. Do you have a lean in terms of who you like in the Miami backfield right now? Achan's ADP is ahead. Mostert has the Q tag. Do you have a preference?
I think Achan.
Okay,
Just
interesting.
thinking game script wise, I think Achan is more of the guy that's involved in the passing game. More of their like break glass in case of emergency type play. Like he's special, and I think they're gonna have to pull out all the stops and give him a ton of touches in this game. But Pacheco right now is like my highest drafted player in these BR streets. Big time into Pacheco in this matchup in the frigid cold, angry runs. Pacheco season.
Stomping that ground, knocking the frost off the ground as he
Oh,
as he runs like a toddler in jeans.
that might be that might be bad for him if he's got hard ground to run on. That could he
I,
might.
he might hurt his knees
I was gonna say
stomping so
I don't
hard.
want to. I'm not wishing it on him, but that might not go so well.
Oh man. Yeah, there's also I want to say yeah, I wouldn't go this far. AZ cards like not like playing into the he would get hurt narrative, but there is the thing that Achan's come up on the injury report already with a toe. So he is currently on the practice report from there. I'll give it a refresh here. I don't have the underdog news stuff pulled up. So if anything's changed during the show, but he was limited in practice with a toe yesterday, and Mostert was limited with the knee. So just
Of
adding
course.
that, maybe they're both a little nicked up, but who isn't this time of year kind of deal. Um, do you give your Steelers, Nez, any glimmer of hope going into Buffalo here in what is a high implied team total for the Bills, but the lowest total for a game on the slate?
Oh no, dude. It's like I do think that they can pull an upset. I really
Yeah,
do. But
yeah,
for fantasy, I really can't get to anything other than like Najee Harris, man. Like I think
yeah.
if this team's gonna win and they're gonna put points on the board, it's either defense, making a big play, or on the run. And on the run, Najee's been handling the majority of the carries. So
Yeah.
I
Back to
mean,
back weeks with more than 20.
dare I say he's getting it done? Like it's not he looks fine. He looks
Okay,
fine. He's I still think that he's not good, but he's doing fine.
let's do something fun here. Sight unseen. Sight unseen. Rest of BBM draft window. Closing ADP Najee Harris next season.
I think you're going to see him in that. Trying to think what range that would be. I'm like seventh or eighth round, I think, for Najee.
Okay. So you think you think people still won't capitulate to the fact that like what he did at the end of this season, he's still in that back end dead zone. People are still wish casting Jaylen Warren.
No, I mean Jaylen Warren will definitely like they're going to be probably pretty close together. I think people still want that Jaylen Warren ceiling, but I mean the Najee faders have definitely won, and he's going to be, I think, definitely like he's. I can see myself having a lot of Najee Harris next.
Oh,
next
you
season.
don't say,
dude! I didn't even have a lot of them this year.
Yeah,
I was just at the field. That was the whole thing. Is I didn't want to fade him. I just wanted to be at the field, and it would have worked if I just would have got there. But no, I think he's going to go too low next season, regardless.
Oh, I love it. I saw something earlier that Leo Watts NFL here. The Bills defense, though they have lost a ton of pieces this year, they are kind of getting back to what they once were. So the first 10 weeks of the season, DVOA, they were 23rd in the NFL. They are third from week 11 to week 18 in recent memory here. So this Bills defense, when we're looking at like total stats, they're not going to appear as good on paper, but if we look at the isolated window and the improvement in which they've made recently, offensive DVOA has still been up here the whole time, and this defense is low-key on the rise here. So I don't know what that means for this matchup in general. I just wanted to put it on people's radar that the team has been, steadily improving on the defensive end.
Yeah, and I mean they're not really gonna have their hands full with the Steelers. It's just a matter of what does Josh Allen do? Does he lose in the game? Does he win in the game? I mean I'm a big Josh Allen fan, but say what you will about turnovers. I think in the playoffs they can really kind of rear their ugly head. But they're 10-point favorites, dog. I mean it's just straight me being a homer there. But I do like the Bills pieces though. I mean, Josh Allen is QB1, I believe, in ADP.
Yep, he's at 7 right now or 6.
Absolutely worthy of that. But I don't know that I'm gonna stack him too much. What do you think? Is that bad? Do you think Diggs is just ran bad?
I don't know what's going on with Stephon Diggs. He had 87 yards last week. He had 8 targets. That was a nice little uptick comparative to what we've seen in the past. There has been if you look at the utilization report, actually I'll do it right now. Man, he was having some 60 snap games and stuff like this. And the ETR guys noted on their podcast that they thought was really strange was the media has asked hey, what's up with Stephon Diggs? Why are his snaps down? Blah, blah, blah. And they just cut questioning off and then removed the reporter who asked that.
What?
Yeah. So
what is this?
Yeah. There's something a little strange going on with what has been happening with Stephon Diggs. His route participation, these aren't his snaps, these are his route participation. So they're still going to look high. I'll find the snap data in 1 second here just to confirm what I was saying. But Gabe Davis mispracticed today, so could be a factor there. I've been taking Stephon Diggs, but only when he falls back to the other side of the board. I haven't been prioritizing him unstacked on the other side, so maybe that's a little different than what you've been doing. So basically, I've been using Diggs as a stacking partner, and I kind of am in lockstep with you where I don't need to have Josh Allen stacked, but if it falls back to me, I'll take it kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm blown away by that Diggs stuff. I did not.
Yeah.
I was not aware that they were doing that.
You remember in the preseason, right? Where there were all those cryptic tweets and, they were saying that he was disgruntled and the relationship between him and Allen had soured and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't know. Very interesting. One thing I want to talk about though is Bill's backfield here, because as sexy as, we think James Conner is, or James Conner, as James Cook is, we think he should be getting the lion's share of the work. The truth of the matter is, Nez, is that inside the goal line, it is like inside the 5 yard line, it has never been his job. It was Latavius Murray, and now it's a combo of Latavius Murray and Leonard Fournette in front of him. Can we count on this guy? Should we be getting to him? Because you would think the lead running back on a team that is 10-point favorites, you'd be like excited about. I am not excited to draft James Cook in any regard this week.
Not on this slate. No.
Yeah.
There's just too much bad vibes going on in that role. Like you mentioned, Leonard Fournette coming into town and like taking touches away, being the second option at the goal line. That's really bad. And I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if they don't like James Cook for some reason, but I always feel like James Cook does good things when he gets the ball. So who knows if Gabe Davis actually does not play. I know that Gabe Davis is the bomb guy, but that might end up opening up some targets for James Cook potentially in this passing game. But it is ugly in this backfield right now. I don't even like taking James Cook in playoff best ball. I kind of have to if you're building out Bills, but it doesn't feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's entirely fair. Yeah, I'm kind of on like the full fade side of it. It could kill me if he breaks off a large reception. Maybe I'll do a little like 6-round stack of like him and Allen in, just to cover my bases for that one. But as of right now, there are a lot of running backs that I prefer behind James Conner's or James Cook's ADP. I got James Conner brain right now. GA's all over me right now.
And the weird thing too is like all of a sudden his like passing role is just like disappeared. He went from week 12 against the Eagles, 6 receptions on 7 targets for 57 yards, then bye week, and then against the Chiefs, 5 for 5 for 83 and a score. We can't use this guy in the pass game anymore. Like, what?
Right.
The fuck is going on?
Yeah, and as noted in the chat here, Dioen said this one here that Ty Johnson's been utilized in third downs there. And then here, like Latavius has stopped getting that usage, and like Leonard Fournette has basically taken over the Latavius role. But the fact of the matter is, it still does not belong to James Cook, right? So I mean, I watched it firsthand as he sunk, my playoff teams and stuff, because he'll get you down there. He'll play 20s to 20s and he'll get, good usage on paper, but none of it is of the high value touch variety.
Exactly.
Lots of speculation in the chat here that like, Rob saying that Jason Whitlock reported a divide in the locker room there. Pro Gamers saying, something similar where like the Bills traded for him because they knew he was a poor teammate, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of Stephon Diggs flood. Actually, did you ever see that the Minnesota Vikings locker room video when they went around and they asked, who would you not want to date your sister?
That was so funny. They just went in on him. They
devoured Stephon Diggs. No, don't come near my sister.
He does seem like a nice guy, is the thing. He seems nice.
Yeah, but I can see why they don't want him dating his sister.
This is a hilarious interview question.
Yeah, it was. Okay, now we get to what I would deem the 2 marquee games, both indoors, both the highest totals on the slate. Packers passing offense has been, firing low key on all cylinders. Same with the Cowboys on the other side of that. And then you get Lions and Rams, which I think game of the week has been the one that I'm targeting. So many fun narratives in that one. What is your favorite here, Nez? Do you agree with me that these are the 2 kind of game of the weeks to get to?
Oh yeah, by far. 2 dome games, 4, I think, awesome offenses. This should be a ton of fun. I'm obviously very bummed about Sam Laporta probably not playing. He wasn't spotted at their practice. The latest quote was outside chance to play, which I think is better than hearing immediate out. But he's like we were talking about. There's murkiness in these reports this week, so he's not playing. But regardless, Lions are still favored, and this game should be just so awesome. We have the Lions that are like a pass funnel. We have the Rams that are just like not a fantastic defense with two awesome offenses here. I can't wait for this game. And then on the other side, with that Packers Cowboys, I mean, the Packers just are just not a good defense.
Mhm.
Cowboys at home are just absolute monsters.
I think that's a good note on two levels there. Cowboys at
Yeah.
home, Lions at home are both two different offenses than they are on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Completely.
I will say that Green Bay, bad against the run comparative to how they are against the pass in terms of defenses that are available to play on this slate. They are the worst against the run. I'm going to ask the question.
Next topic.
He scored a touchdown last week, Nez. Is he back in our lives?
He's gonna have to be, right? I mean, they're gonna try to get him in goal line carries, right? I mean, everything, the DVP, the total, the spread, everything screams like Tony Pollard chalk.
Yeah.
I guess, dude. Put on a brave face and draft him.
Okay, here. Let me paint it this way. Okay. In terms of rush yards per play, okay, that opposing defenses are allowing, okay? Green Bay allows the highest on the slate. They've allowed the highest rushing yards per game on the slate. Tony Pollard is free, okay? That's one side of the equation. On the other side of the equation is the other game in the dome where Kyren Williams is going no later than 4th on this slate. He's going in the top 3 the majority of the time. And Detroit's run defense is one of the best in terms of rushing yards allowed per game, and they only allow 3.8 yards per rush play. Like they are, them and Houston are the two best run defenses by those metrics. I know blanket statement, blah, blah, blah. You can throw cold water on this shit. But on this slate, by those metrics, they're the two best. Kyren goes every single draft. Tony goes free in the 6th round, sometimes 5th round. Should we be getting an overweight the field on Tony redacted?
I mean, it's a good question. I mean, it's definitely fair to say, and I do think that is something that we should be doing. Like I agree with that. Now, let's see what happens when the Rams are playing, catch up or playing in a shootout. Then we don't really care about the efficiency of Kyren Williams. We care that he's on the field and they need to score points and he's used at the goal line and he's actually getting more receiving work than he has lately, because lately they've just been killing teams. Mm-hmm. So he does it all. He's probably going to touch the ball 20 plus times. He's probably going to score a touchdown. That makes him worthy of the price tag. But the gap between him and Tony Redact is not that high. It's not that large, as large as the field is making it out to be, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see when the models fully update and stuff, and they come out tomorrow, because they're notoriously high on, the usage case and, buying back into like the buy low model side of Tony Redacted. I think he's going to project like the 3rd best running back play on the slate, and he's going to get absolutely steamed.
I don't know that he'll get steamed, though.
No, people are done with it.
I think people have like Tony Pollard projection fatigue, and they're just like, tell me he's a good play. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
we already know the Packers are not a good run defense, and the spread is high and the total's high. We already have the information that we care about when it comes to running backs. People still don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, entirely fair. Yeah, maybe we're
RB7.
Just all collectively done. Yeah, RB7 right now. Anything to say, Macro? This is a nice one from Asset here. Everyone's been focusing. People forget. Everyone's been focusing on the Stafford going back to the Lions narrative. This is Goff revenge game back against the Rams too. But everyone just kind of like puts that one out of their mind. But it's pretty cool that this is happening just in general. It's very cool.
It is.
Our guy Ron Navy here singing your praises here, Nez. He's down with the haters of the Steelers there. The Steelers are
Bill's
man.
offense, actually, terrible.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. I'm not sure that's the first place I've heard it.
The Packers, though, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just like way too Jordan Love pilled, but I think they've got a real shot at upsetting these Cowboys.
I don't know, man. Like,
why not?
How do you stop CeeDee Lamb right now? Like, Jair Alexander's kind of nice, but like CeeDee's on another level right now.
He is, but so is Jair Alexander in terms of like antics and just media. Like Jair Alexander's got the juice right now, and
he's coming out for the coin toss. He's coming out for the coin toss.
That would be awesome if they made him a captain for this game, like full circle. That'd be hilarious. But I get that the offense for the Cowboys is like big time, and you know you got to stop and you got to score more points than them. But I'm just excited to see the Packers in a shootout because I think that they can go blow for blow.
Okay, I mean, if this game turns into it, I think out of these two games, I think it has less of a path to becoming a back and forth shootout than the Lions-Rams game. So if I'm game stacking with like a run back, I'd rather play Rams-Lions. If I'm just trying to play like score a bunch of points, I'd onslaught Dallas.
I mean, that's totally fair. But what would you put the Packers' chances at it upsetting the Cowboys, and how would they do it if they do?
Okay. I would put it at 31%. And I would say they upset because they had 112 and a score on the ground from Aaron Jones. And then they had 256 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. From Love. I think it'd be like something like that. So they have 3 offensive touchdowns, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground, and then they somehow get turnovers and or stops against the Cowboys.
It's fair.
Yeah. Why, you think it'd be like, Jordan Love balls the F out and throws for 350 and 3?
Jordan Love's going to go nuts.
All right.
Okay. He's going to go nuts. I mean, what I really like about this is that this does not actually seem like a good offensive matchup for the Cowboys, in my opinion. And here's my Galbrain reason, Ryan. It's not even that Galbrain. Like, what the Cowboys do really well is a great pass rush, which is like obviously incredibly important. The Packers are probably like one of the toughest lines that they could face in the playoffs right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Giving Jordan Love a little bit of time to just do Jordan Love things. And I mean, just play risky. The way that they play offensively is just very much like high risk, high reward. I don't know.
Yep.
I mean, based on these lobbies that I'm getting in my best ball drafts, I'm pivoting to Packers because I think that they actually have a chance at doing something special. And in the daily streets as well, I think that they have the chance to put up a lot of points too. So I have a feeling off and on the clock on Friday, we're going to be typing in PACK in that search bar when we look at some pick'ems.
All right, man. All right. I'll throw a little bit of cold water on your offensive line take. Thorne has them ranked 11th best remaining offensive line in the playoffs.
Oof.
But outside of that, I can give you a little something. Who has the worst offensive line remaining in the playoffs according to Thorne?
Is it the Rams?
It is the Steelers, my friend. I'm sorry to tell you.
See, that's how I know that this stuff is bunk. Absolute bunk.
Oh man, that's funny. Neumy said something about AJ Dillon in the chat. I just wanted to say AJ Dillon did not practice again today, and he didn't play last week. So I don't know. We didn't talk about Aaron Jones yet, but like 1v1 this for me, Nez. Rank these three for me this week: Pollard, Aaron Jones, David Montgomery.
I would go Aaron Jones, Pollard, Montgomery, I think.
Okay, so that's the set. You're in lockstep with ADP there then. I'm putting on my contrarian hat this week, and I think David Montgomery is low key going to be one of my highest owned players this week.
I like it.
Yeah,
he's getting a lot of disrespect in every street right now for some reason.
And if this team moves the ball like we think they're capable of moving the ball, they have the highest red zone rushing rate. And I think postseason time, Dan Campbell, hand in the dirt guy, they just go to what their best play in the red zone has been all year, and it's David Montgomery. I think there's a path to a 2-touchdown game.
Which is definitely like what he needs, I think, right? Like, it would be unless he breaks off a long run. Like, I don't see him eclipsing the century mark, but you're going to need a couple touchdowns. But that's definitely in his range of outcomes, man. Like, I'm honestly a little surprised at the field's reaction to David Montgomery this week.
Yeah, me too. Our guy Wu-Tang Killer Bees, who obviously gave us the Coach of the Year nugget right there. We're looking here. He's given us a Packers defense led up the third most rush yards to opposing quarterbacks this year. Can Dak find his way to the end zone to vulture TP? Ooh, that is a nice little nugget there. Maybe a little higher rushing floor in the postseason for Dak here. Dak afforded the ability to run a little bit more in the postseason, perhaps. I like it.
Matt Sharp. So that's living rent free in my head now.
Yeah. These are my exposures thus far. I've only done 8 drafts. I'm really targeting that Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown underpriced stack right now. And then I like playing, through Mostert and through Montgomery and really loading up on the front end wide receivers there thus far. I have been taking Laporta just because he's free. And if he plays, I think it's a really good spot and he's underpriced because I'd rather have him than Schultz or Ferg. But if he doesn't play, I'll just swap to one of them anyways. So that's kind of been my mentality with the back end tight ends here. We didn't talk about Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee didn't play last week and was doubtful all week. He didn't even practice. I think like Tyler Higbee's Q tag is like legit scary here. He might gut it out for the postseason, but
he's a fun one, to take the swap on that. If you're the last tight end on the board, why not?
Yeah. Right. All right. Quarterback, my friend. Do we agree with the ADP ranks right here? Who would be your favorite scroll? I have a feeling you've already said who your favorite scroll is.
Absolutely. No question, Jordan Love on this slate. Easy to stack. I will definitely like cool it a little bit if we end up getting like, hey, Christian Watson isn't playing. That'll definitely cool me off a little bit. But love me some Jordan Love this week. Otherwise, I think QB ADP is fine. I might be more into Dak than Josh Allen, but Josh Allen is that guy. So no, never going to be upset at him being QB1.
Okay. So QB1 for you, and then scroll down of Jordan Love there. What about ADP adjusted, Nez? Are you still, with these guys here, or ADP adjusted price tag? Would you like somebody else in the mid?
Probably like Matt Stafford adjusted. Okay. Just get that matchup against the Lions. They're 3-point dogs. This should be pretty awesome. Really into Stafford.
I set up a Puka and Cup double earlier, and someone went naked staff on me.
Gotta love it. You gotta love these games that we play, man. Gotta love it.
Oh man! All right, I like where you're at there. For me, it's Jalen Hurts right now as cost adjusted and favorite at ADP, and then I don't know, man. Like I don't know that Tua in the cold has the ceiling to get home. Like I don't know, but if Tyreek gets home, I'm gonna want to have like a little bit of it paired together. I'll definitely get to some Baker though. Like Baker will be, I'm
obviously
falling for it again. falling for it
obviously.
again.
Dude, the spot's
Uh,
too good. It's
yeah.
too good.
Anyone at the running back position that you feel is mispriced right now?
Well, we kind of talked about him for a minute, but David Montgomery. David Montgomery
Yeah.
is just flat out mispriced. Like I could never take James Cook over David Montgomery as it stands. Just no way, Jose.
Yeah, I feel similarly to you there. If Mostert didn't have the Q tag and Achan all of a sudden gets a Q tag for the toe or something like that, do you think they flip flop in ADPs, or do you think the market really likes Achan better?
I don't think they will flip flop just because Mostert missed last game and the latest on him isn't like overly optimistic. So I think it'll maintain.
Okay. My absolute furthest scroll the F down that I may have one or two shares of is you'll playoff Lenny, buddy. Playoff Lenny getting the goal line work, back to back games with 7 carries. Um, Man, I can't quit the dude, but I actually think it's pretty logical as 10-point favorites, the biggest favorites on the slate, that he falls into the end zone twice and you just have the contrarian path to a 1-1-3-1 build where he's your one off.
I won't have any of it, but I mean it's the possibility is definitely there.
Okay.
I mean, my eye test is not infallible, but I did not think that he looks good.
Yeah, I just saw his quads, man, and I was like, yep, here we go. Um Anyone else you want to mention at running back to sound smart, or should we move on to wide receiver?
No, we can move on. David Montgomery is a damn near flag plant.
Yeah, I fully there with you. AJ Brown, I just like getting to this Philly side. I think it's an amazing spot. I think the Q tag he's going to play through, even if both of them are banged up. I think they're appropriately priced. I want to keep getting to the Philly stuff. That's just me. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Nez, how about you? Who do you like? Who do you think's mispriced down here?
Well, when you say both of them, are you referring to Devonta Smith?
I'm howling. Um, I'm both of them as in Hertz plus AJ Brown stack. I think
Okay,
Devonta Smith is way more likely to miss, and
I
I
agree.
think he's more hurt. Uh, does he offer greater contrarian leverage than AJ Brown? Absolutely. But I'm gonna wait a little bit on news before I start aping in on him.
Yeah, that's definitely the right move because he's not being drafted, and I do think that he's on the wrong side of questionable.
Yeah.
So if that does happen, then and AJ Brown does play, then that opens up a lot for AJ Brown, which we would obviously like in this matchup against Tampa Bay. I think he's obviously an awesome price right now. Otherwise, Brandon Cooks and
Yeah.
just his Dallas Packers game in general, it just is very easy to get to. You can do it in a lot of different ways in this slate. Give me that. Give me Jaden Reed. Give me everything in this game. Very much like the price of it all.
Cool. Anyone else you want to mention? We said the Chris Godwin one earlier there. Do you have a lean on any of the Packers stuff? I think Waddle plays for what it's worth. I'm
Me
just
too.
not
Yeah.
in love with that game, but I think he is, this is some premium talent for a 6 game slate to have Waddle as just a Q tag 6th rounder to mix in.
Yeah, I think the only other name I will mention is Christian Watson. I think actually getting it now makes sense in case he doesn't play, so you can get a swap on
Okay.
him. And if he does
Yeah.
play, then I think he represents a very awesome late round pick. I'm not saying you need to get him now because I think his price is going to rise. I think he's always going to be a 6th rounder, but if he does eventually get rolled out, then you do have that swap option.
Cool. Yeah, I like it. There's a nugget in the chat there that they think Wicks has been playing good enough to maintain some role. I mean, so's Melton,
Absolutely.
and they've all been playing well. The two 1-for-1 replacement though is Watson and Wicks. They basically play the same position, so I do think it comes at the detriment of Wicks if Watson's healthy. But Watson might only be a 60% snap guy. Tight end position here, Nez. Do you think it's appropriately priced? I alluded to the fact of late there just for some leverage plus some upside plus a swap kind of thing. Any targets for you?
I like all this. I think it's interesting that Musgrave is going ahead of Tucker Craft, though.
Yeah, I was about to go there too. Yeah, we saw Musgrave return last week. I'll find the snap data right here, but I thought it was leverage last week to get to the Musgrave stuff. Got to the
So
Musgrave
did
stuff,
I.
and it was Tucker Kraft who just balled the F out instead. I mean, he didn't do a ton, but balled the F out comparatively with the 33 targets, 3 catches, and 31 yards opposed to 1 catch for 11. I have Green Bay snap counts. Tucker Kraft played 90% of the snaps, and Luke Musgrave only played 15. So despite coming back, his practice window's been open for like 3 or 4 weeks. Then he finally comes back, and he only plays 15% of the snaps. Like, should we be getting some leverage with Tucker Kraft here?
It's thin, of course, because like two really like the unknown of what is that snapshot going to look like? Is it going to hold? And two, like, are the results even going to be there? I think it's a fun little gamble for sure. Just because I don't think people quite realize that like Tucker Kraft isn't a nobody, and there might just be like a hey, this has worked. Let's just keep it going type of thing.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, I mean the offense has been firing on all cylinders in the recent weeks in which Musgrave has not been there, right? So it's like if it ain't broke, why fix, right? I just want to say like a couple like one-off like leverage scroll the F down skinny stacks is I will have a little bit of Cade Otton with Baker, and I will have a little bit of Dawson Knox as direct leverage off the Kincaid stuff, because like Dawson Knox still plays 50% of the snaps and he's still utilized in the goal line and that sort of stuff. So I will have, him falling into the end zone instead of everybody wanting Kincaid to fall into the end zone. I think that's a fun little contrarian path if no tight end breaks the slate. You just score the only touchdown.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. The only thing that does kind of give me pause is if Gabe Davis doesn't go, which it seems like he won't, then I do think that kind of opens things up for Kincaid.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, that also, maybe a little like Shakir or something like that. Like, who else could you get to in the pass game? Who else would you feel comfortable getting to in the pass game if Gabe Davis doesn't go?
Yeah, like Shakir, like you said, I think they've been incorporating him more and more as the season's gone on, and he's looked the part. I mean, he's not doing nothing with the rock. So
right,
I mean, he's just like such a Bills wide receiver, like so mid, but like he's connected to Josh Allen, so it's exciting.
Okay, cool. Jones with a little nugget here. AJ Brown and CD splits not as good, both heavy zone opponents. That's an interesting one to look into as the weeks go on here, or as the week goes on.
I will say,
yep,
as co-host of this show, I do not condone a CD Lamb AJ Brown fade.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's what it's implying, but yeah.
But I could not care any less on this slate about CD Lamb against zone. But it's fun.
I like it. Quez would be my swap. Just local music now suggesting like shocked how well he played last week, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, he played really well last week, but he'd be my swap if one of the wide receivers didn't go, opposed to getting to Julio.
Yeah, dude, fucking Julio. That was so funny. Like, what's he doing catching touchdowns in the year 2023? Is he really gonna be involved now? Like, is this what we're doing?
I don't know. So Tyreek falls to 5th to us. Are we scared enough of the weather to keep passing on him, or do we just snap him up here?
No, you gotta snap that up.
Okay, sounds good.
You don't think Tyreek Hill can run fast in the cold? Come on, folks.
I think Kev Wheeler put it in the chat earlier there. He said hard ground goes fast or something like that.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, is that the hard ground actually is good for speed. So
yeah,
they're going to be
land speed records.
Yeah, they're going to be lighting the field on fire like they used to dry up the baseball fields back in the day.
Yeah, that's great.
I have our next pick.
Okay.
It's Cooper Kupp. I'm at 50% Cooper Kupp through 40 drafts.
Okay.
He's the guy. He is the guy. We get the pass funnel of Detroit. We get a high total indoors, and it's like a kind of leverage off of Nakua, who goes ahead of him, and Kyron, who goes ahead of him. So give me Cooper Kupp, and I'm gonna have so much of him.
All right. I respect it, man. I mean, if you want to talk about like hot reads, ball out quick, and the strength of the Detroit defense being their run stopping ability and their ability to get pressure on the quarterback, who better than Matthew Stafford to just call out hot reads to short slants and yak gods like Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua?
Yeah, they can definitely both eat. Like, I liked what you were trying to do with the double. Unfortunately, you didn't get there. Just hit another lobby, try again. But yeah, I'm just very much into this game. I have a lot of Rams in my best ball streets, along with the Lions, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, kind of a bummer that one has to knock the other out. But
yeah,
hey, if you could pick your bag right now, like obviously Lions are home favorites right now, may or may not be with Laporta. If you could pick your bag right now, who would you pick to have more of right now in your playoff best ball streets?
I think Lions.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Lions.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was feeling really good about them before the Laporta stuff, and then priced in Laporta isn't playing, they're still favored, which, I mean, I know he's important, and I know he's not like that important, but I am still a little surprised that they are -3. But I think it's that's like a home thing, probably.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Interesting stuff in the chat here that Lions, because Rams get Niners next round. I think that's pretty sharp.
So yeah,
unless Packers happen to upset, but like that's a tough needle to thread. Yeah, this isn't a Baker double.
Not yet. Oh, it can't be. Oh, I guess unless you do Kate Otten, but
buddy, we'll find our way there. Don't worry, we'll find our way there.
We don't need to do this. You don't.
Diggs goes there. We could do the Gibbs thing. We could do the White thing. I've been clicking AJ Brown here and then figuring it out.
AJ Brown and figure it out. Yeah. Or you could
like I would do Brown Hurts here like every time and then set it up for David Montgomery on the way back.
Yeah, that's how I've been playing a lot of this.
You hear Tucker?
No, what's he up to?
Oh. This mic, I guess, is like good at like canceling background noise or something.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is. I got my dog he usually has these like bones that are like kind of smaller, but he'll chew on them and use his little paws to hold it. It's hilarious. But he can handle like a thicker bone. He can hold his own. But I'm talking about my son like that. I'm talking about a chew bone. I gotta watch out though. He can't have too much at once, but he's got this big, gigantic bone now, and he's just and I can hear him outside my door.
Oh, that's funny. Just pounding the thing against the wall as he chews it.
It's great.
Okay, so I like Hurts here. So I like doing this because I this third and fourth round Hurts to AJ Brown. Like I just don't think it's going to be available when we get closer to the slate and the Q tags go away. Like
it just seems, yeah, it just seems like the best plays.
Yeah. And then now we can kind of just mix and match whatever we want to do at running back, tight end. It's my favorite way to build right now, especially because I think the back end running back plays are better than the back end wide receiver plays. But yeah,
I have been doing a lot more 3 wide receiver, which feels kind of, I mean, not like awful because these are all pretty good players, but I'm typically a 2 running back guy in these dailies. So
yeah, that's fair. I mean, it obviously feels worse on, half point PPR and playoff like narratives with bad weather. Like you think playoffs, 6 game slate, bad weather. What do you think? You think, oh, some of these guys are going to establish it, keep it on the ground, blah, blah, blah. But then when you go full dome boner and pass funnel defenses in 3 of these games, then you're not as like bad.
Let's see what
Chad
kind
goes
of running
ahead
back
and
choices you have.
yeah, these guys sniped us up, and we are left with our boy Tony Redacted falling right into our lap. Redacted,
You don't have to take
Mostert.
them. You can do tight end first.
Yeah, good point. Ferg, Schultz, Laporta. Ferg?
I think Ferg.
Okay. And that doesn't mind you, like, we don't mind that we're gonna do now Ferg and Pollard, or Ferg and Mostert. Who do you prefer out of these two?
Tony.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean,
it's fine.
we could do Swift too and do like a little bit of a Philly thing. We could do a little more contrarian play like Ford and run that game through Ford, even though it's, Houston run defense is no joke. Houston run defense is probably the second worst matchup available.
I would say Tony. Like, let's just do a little GM. Let's just
all right.
let's just scoop some ADP value.
If Mostert doesn't have the Q tag, does he go ahead of Tony?
Probably, right? Like, I'd say like pick like 19.
Yeah, I think it's close. What's a better stack? Running back and wide receiver on your own team, or tight end and running back on your own team?
I don't know why. I feel like tight end and running back.
Okay, let's do it. All right, we got Tony. We got Tony Redacted. It wouldn't be a BadgeBros stream if we didn't complain a lot about Tony Redacted. Chad got absolutely hosed and sniped on his back stack there, where he was like, you know what? I'm just going to get a cheeky little game stack with David Montgomery, Puka, and then Stafford's going to come back to us. And our guy in number 6 here just goes, by the way, naked staff. So
Chad just said, why? Can someone tell me why the 6th pick just took Staff? I cannot, brother.
I cannot. I cannot. Yes, I cannot.
He could have went Stroud. He could have went Flacco. All right. Naked Stafford. What if it's the guy you need?
Should have took Kraft. Yeah, I mean, Kraft's kind of fun there. Yeah, double tight end from the one hole there was interesting. Kind of flipped this draft on its head. Yeah, we talked a little bit about this one. We're doing playoff Lenny. I'm doing playoff Lenny this week. Yeah, that was my 9th draft, and I haven't done playoff Lenny yet. Nez, what should we fire on? Should we fire on hoops, or should we fire one more of those, and then what do you think here?
Are we gonna neglect hoops, or are we gonna do one more?
Let's do one BR and then just talk about hoops while we draft hoops, and just do like kind of like the bro science hoops today.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you want to do that? Keep it under 2 hours, but keep it drafting focused from here on out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Let's fire another BR there. We want to get the people in the streets here.
Man, like you said though, like this is such an insane time to be drafting. Like, I love playoff best ball. It's so fun to do just because it's such a puzzle that feels solved, but isn't drafted like it's solved. The dailies on top of this, along with like the hoop stuff. Baseball season is like fast approaching. Like, it's such a good time. I'm gonna stand up, by the way. Don't mind me as this desk goes.
I think it was Hockey Hooligan that I saw on Twitter earlier that had already maxed that baseball contest, and I was like, holy shit, man! Like, we've had so many daily contests, so many BRs, so many whatever, that, like, baseball is low-key my favorite sport, or one of my favorite sports. And I was like, I'm not even playing it right now. Like, and it's available to me. It's crazy. Like, you can spend all damn day drafting if you want, every single day. Like,
I know my focus has just shifted so much into like, how can I continue to like churn money and earn money, on the site right now. And it's like, well, it just takes up a lot of my time doing the hoop stuff, which like was not what I was doing last season. So yeah, last year I would be all over these bullpens, like day in and day out, just fast drafting like crazy. That's what I'm talking about. Once we get that dinger, now that when that dinger comes out, I'm gonna be going nuts on that, like
Yeah.
for sure.
Um,
But I need to get some reps in for sure.
yeah, I did 2 the other night just when I was like couldn't sleep after puck. Who do you like, Tyreek Hill or Puka Nakua?
Let's maybe do some Puka this time. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do Puka just to switch it up or whatever. But it's weird that we're actually having this conversation legitimately. And I think it has a lot to do with the weather and it has a lot to do with like the game environment stuff, obviously, because in a vacuum, Puka Nakua versus Tyreek Hill shouldn't be a conversation right now.
It should be Tyreek Hill every time.
Every time, but like just given the context of this slate, it's kind of like, oh yeah, maybe we should be, considering that the dome game is the better spot kind of deal.
Yeah, man. And like, I think too, and I'm not saying that we like Tua on primetime last week against the Bills. That was not a great showing.
Yeah, two hasn't
You
looked
know,
good in a while, man. I'm not
I
gonna
know.
lie. Who do we like next here? We could do Nico Collins, tough matchup. We could do the Pacheco one you alluded to liking. Mike
I am.
Evan.
I do like Pacheco a lot. I know running backs deep, but that'd be my pick.
Okay. See, this is where I think there's kind of like a tier break in these boards right now. I think the first 4 picks, because I would take Tyreek over Puka right now. I think the first 4 picks is like one tier. Then I think the next tier is kind of like this Josh Allen and the 2 Rams guys and maybe Amari. Like Amari probably belongs in that. And then I
Yeah,
think it's another tier break. And I've been taking Kelsey.
I like it. And I mean, you can definitely like. There's definitely some advantage to being overweight Kelsey, and I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, I don't know how people feel about auto drafting, but you can definitely set up like if you put Kelsey at 6 and just take every other tight end like out of your ranks, like, and
Yeah,
you
you
just
could
want to
get him
get a
every
shit
time.
ton of Kelsey, like you can get yourself a shit ton of Kelsey.
Yeah, it's a good point. All right, we got some decisions to make here. Stephon Diggs comes back to us. Rashad White, we could do something funky and figure it out with like a back stack. If we took a running back here, we could set up the AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts thing again. What do you like, Nez?
Damn, this is tough. Shoot, AJ Brown.
Okay.
I mean, I know we just did it, like, and I didn't want to say it again, but like, I do. I'm with you. I'm with you though. If we get that green light on AJ Brown,
Yeah.
is he going at like that one? Is he's in that like Amari Cooper
No,
Cup conversation, right?
dude, like there's no way AJ Brown versus a pass funnel with Jalen Hurts as his quarterback is going behind split backfield Jameer Gibbs.
I know.
Like there's just no way, right? Like you can box score watch from the last like 4 weeks and be like, oh, AJ Brown hasn't been AJ Brown. Man, this guy is like top 5, top 7 best wide receivers in all of football. Like just give him that opportunity to go back and do what he was doing in the middle of the season when they were firing on all cylinders. Come on.
This just seems like a nice little get right spot for them.
Does it ever, man? Like we've been targeting Tampa Bay pass funnel with way worse teams than Hurts plus AJ Brown that are free. Yeah, so we just talk ourselves into a corner over and over again, and Chad takes naked Hurts from us. We could do the Rashad White and play game environment there, and then find a contrarian skinny stack at the onesies. We could do David Montgomery.
Let's go reach on Montgomery or redacted.
All right. You do not like Rashad White versus Eagles run defense this week?
I don't.
No?
Not really. I mean, I know Rashad White is a touch monster, but
Yeah.
it definitely does not feel good for Rashad White in this matchup. Maybe I'm too DVP pilled, but if there's the only thing that that they can really do, the Eagles on defense is play run defense. So
Yep.
I don't know that I want to hard fade Rashad White because he's not totally expensive, but I mean, I do like David Montgomery. I know we just talked about the split backfield and stuff, but I am concerned about the matchup. Very concerned.
Okay.
Not the weather for Rashad White, it's the matchup.
Okay. In terms of yards allowed per game, like the Eagles give up the most defensive yards allowed of anyone on the slate. But as you alluded to, their passing and running splits are like they give up basically 100 on the ground, but then they give up 252 through the air. So like drastic splits between the way in which they give up yards plays right into your thesis there, Nez.
Demarcus Robinson for turn me up. All right.
Yeah. James Conner was not worried about that Eagles run defense.
James
I
Conner
love
is
it.
a beast.
Demarcus Robinson goes there. I think we got a pretty easy Stafford and then Laporta and hope it happens.
Laporta didn't practice today.
Okay,
I do like Stafford though.
Not financial advice. Don't take your quarterback when the other two guys on the other side of the board have already taken quarterbacks. But we got caught under the gun there with time, so we'll let these guys take tight ends first, and then we'll get left with whatever.
Yeah.
Who would you have taken?
I probably would have just made it a naked tight end and gone with like Dalton Schultz.
Okay. Well, Dalton Schultz is still coming back to us, Nez, so we can have Dalton Schultz if we would like Dalton Schultz. You like Dalton Schultz over Kincaid, over the Laporta dart, over the Higbee stack. You could do something funky with like Cade Otton run back off of the AJ Brown. That's pretty thin. Your boy Freiermuth. Any of the Green Bay guys?
I would probably do Kincaid or Schultz.
Okay, pick one for me, sir.
I would say Schultz, and the only reason I say that is because like there's going to be some Josh Allen teams benefiting from if Kincaid does well, and that probably there will be many less Stroud teams that can benefit
plus Stroud teams. Yep, really good decision making. Gal brain from Nez there. That's very sharp. Just in terms of like you got to think through the combos that are going to be made in like smaller contests like this. Is like if Kincaid's scoring a touchdown, well, Josh Allen's 100% owned. Whereas like the inverse is true if Schultz scores the touchdown. I want to hit on this one. Yo, our guy Kev, thank you so much. Yeah, hit that like button, please and thank you. We got 100 of us hanging out right now, and we only got like 40 likes, so that ratio is looking kind of like my ROI these days. So please go ahead and fix that for me. Nez, I'll give you a peek at my current rankings right now. I will mix and match some things here. Very interesting slate. Boston guys being ruled out early there. We got a whole bunch of back-to-backs. We got Sacramento on a back-to-back after Sabonis went nuke last night. We got Wemby with a minutes restriction despite having an ADP of 4.8 because they are playing Detroit on a back-to-back. Any macro thoughts in terms of the Raptors got screwed last night? We could talk about that.
That coach's interview was so awesome. I love their coach for life now. After he just went scorched earth on the league and the refs, that was badass.
Yeah, for anyone who didn't see that, he had a great interview last night where he was basically complaining that the Raptors had basically no free throw attempts, and the Lakers somehow had 23rd in the fourth quarter. I think it was the 23-2 in terms of free throw attempts in the final quarter, and then there was like the softest flop call foul on a 3-pointer there. So
yeah, it was not fun, but their coach rules, and I loved the way that he was that he was talking there. That was that was funny. Talking about Scotty Barnes is an all-star.
Yeah,
he's going to be the face of the league. The face White of Scotty, the league. Baby. That is just fantastic. I was reading Winky Christ's breakdown thread, which is like awesome, by the way.
Oh, great stuff. If you guys don't follow that, go follow him on Twitter there.
Yeah, literally just Winky Christ. And he had a stat about the Lakers over the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
the Lakers are plus 549 free throws attempted, or cumulative total of 549 free throws. The second best team in free throws attempted is the Magic at 204. This is per Winky. So, I mean, if he's wrong.
No, he's not. He's dialed, man. I'm going to go look for this.
A difference of 345 between first and second, with the Lakers being first. It's point number 9.
Point number 9. Yeah, so for anyone who's not familiar, he does these like 10-point takeaways or whatever, and they're just so dialed for each night of the slate. Like he's a diehard hoops guy and watches this stuff. All right, here we go. Point number 9. So yeah, Lakers BS happening every year, blah blah blah. Where am I looking here, Nez?
Their cumulative total of, so he has that plus. So I'm like, what does that mean?
Here we go. Yeah. So their cumulative total of free throws, 549, and the second place team is 346 lower, or 345 lower.
Crazy.
That is wild, man.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, relative to the other teams. Thank you, Blake. You're so smart. You're a genius.
Yeah, relative to
I couldn't
other
figure
teams.
that out. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So yeah, just literally exactly what they're talking about here is the free throws last night in the quarter, and it was basically the talking point of hoops last night. That's crazy, dude. I'm glad you brought that stat to my attention, because that is some fucking bullshit, man. That like LeBron and AD just get all these calls, just hey, come to the line. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not good for the game. I don't really have other like big macro points. I think ADP is like kind of online today. I think maybe in the back end in the 6th, I'll do something different than ADP has right now. My only big standard right now is I really like Tyler Hero.
Okay. Yeah, I respect it. I mean, he's popping in the models. He's popping in the spreadsheets. As you could see right here, I got him thrust up pretty good. It's hard to tell what range I have him in, maybe like 24 or something like that, when his ADP is 31. I've only done 20 drafts thus far, but I was kind of in lockstep with you. What stands out about Hero for you?
I mean, no Butler. Good matchup against the Thunder. And Hero is just like, I always like Hero's floor. So, shocker. I like a guy for the floor.
Hey, I could have used you in the 6th round last night instead of fucking taking Killian Hayes. If I got Nez's floor mine after getting that GM at the front, I probably take, who would I take? D'Angelo Russell with the 4th there, and just scoop up my 23 points and win.
Yeah. I would have a lot of D'Lo, or one of those Pistons guys for sure.
That
was not Killian Hayes.
And no Lowry, no Caleb.
On top of it all. Yeah, so a lot of usage going his way. I love the matchup. He just should not be ADP 30. Like, I had him like before ADP was set at like player 19.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. Yeah. No, rightfully so. Yeah, that sounds good by me. Any other like other stands you're taking? Any other deep scroll the F down guys that you're liking to? One note: Minnesota and Boston. Most teams travel the night after a win or loss or whatever. After a game, they travel or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, Minnesota did not travel last night. Anthony Edwards got nicked up in said game, and then they tried to travel like this morning or something and had to reroute through somewhere else to get to Boston. So they didn't get to Boston until this morning, I think. So just same day travel, kind of weird. Like that Minnesota and Boston game, like it looks like a good basketball game on paper, but in terms of like from fantasy purposes, like I'm not entirely sure what we're going to get there.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I'm not really like doing anything too different in that case, but I know Neumy pointed that out. It's definitely something to monitor, I guess. I don't know that like models are like taking that in. Like I don't know what kind of adjustments to really make on that, but it's definitely something to pay attention to.
Yeah, that zinger midday or that zinger out now kind of lends me to like bro science into Gobert being out as well, but that's just sheer bro science.
Yeah, I don't think it's terrible.
Yeah.
So it looks
Um,
like my biggest stance, just real quick, I only did 20 buzzer beaters so far. I'm kind of behind on my usual drafting,
yep.
just because of playoff best ball. A lot of Tobias Harris,
Okay.
like in the 6th.
Yeah. Yeah, no Embiid tonight.
And they play the
Yeah, I
Hawks.
guess. Yeah, I mean, like I have Maxi pushed up hella, so I should probably have Tobias pushed up as well. Yeah, I should probably get to a little bit of like Kelly Oubre in the 6th as well. Is it B-ball Paul night? Should I be aping in on a little Paul Reed?
I always remove him from my ranks.
Oh my god, your brain's broken. I'm like, yo, no Reed, get me in there. Let's go. Yeah. Nick, I love Tobias. I really want that 37 fantasy points. It's so spot on, man. Like he needs like 6 stocks to broke it. Jay Habs has a good point here. BI seems too low. BI seems too low if uh, Zion's ruled out. So if you're anticipating that Zion Q tag turns into an out tag, BI should be moved up more. I agree with that take right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rocket Sauce asking, are you worried about the defensive take? The Lou Dort D, good Canadian boy, locking down Tyler Hero.
Next question. Kidding me? You think you can hold down Tyler Hero with a little Lou Dort defense? Get out of here, man. Come on now. What are we talking?
Yeah, I think I'm in lockstep with Juice McCaffrey here. I think the Zion Q tag is a little fake. 10-game slate, though, man. Like, there are so many plays to get to on this back end. Like, I want to get to some guys, and I'm just not going to if you auto draft tonight. Like, like I think, I say this all the time where like 230 pluses can like win a slate, but like 230 pluses right now can win a slate on the same team if it's like Ingram plus Hero or like, Tobias Harris, as you alluded to, something like that.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I think whoever wins, hot take here. I don't have
Yeah.
the answer. I don't know who you should take. Whoever figures out which pacer to get overweight on tonight is going to have a very, very good night. Just good luck figuring out who it is.
Yeah, that's a good shout there. I'm going to bring up the injury report 1 second here just because I haven't looked in the last 2 hours, basically. But yeah, who do you anticipate starts for the Pacers? Like, who do you anticipate? Because obviously Hallie's out. So if TJ McCollum starts for the Pacers, like TJ McCollum, I should have like 80% in the 6th round. Like he's just an absolute monster. But if Nembhard starts, then it's like a little different.
For sure. I think McConnell's going to get minutes, obviously. Roto Grinders has Nembhard in there right now. That's fine. I think my next like sneaky option from the Pacers would be like Benny Math, I think.
Okay. Yeah, he had like 39 fantasy points the other night after Tyrese went out. So
yeah, it just feels like a lot opens up for him. They kind of, he's a 6th man, but it does seem like he soaks up a lot of usage. I don't know this.
I think you're right, man. Like they're playing the Wizards tonight, and like you want the guy who's going to be the ball handler. And when Matherin's in there, that's exactly what he is. When McConnell's in there, that's exactly what he is. So I mean, if you get 32 minutes out of McConnell, he breaks the slate in the 6th round. If you get 38 minutes out of Matherin, he could put up 50 from the 6th round as well. Like, yeah, all range outcomes. Okay, cool. What do you say we rip a draft here?
Yeah, let's get in here. See what people are actually doing. Because the ADP is one thing.
The EN is the empty netter there. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and delete my ranks.
Yeah, he meant to say puck EN, and then so we kind of, it was like 50-50. Is it Pick'em or puck EN? And I'm not familiar with the puck acronyms just yet.
Love to see it. Oh man, speaking of puck, last night we blew 4 Cobb lead up 4-0, and we blew it, lost 5-4.
Yikes! What was the morale like after that? Was everybody a little upset? Who was pointing fingers?
Yeah, we were. There was maybe about 5.5 minutes of that, and then the cooler opened up, and everybody was happy again.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm kind of lockstep with Carlos here. Like, for a
Yes.
10-game slate, it's kind of weird because we got none of the Lakers guys in the first round. We got no Luka, we got no Embiid, we got no none of the usual Suns guys pushed up there. It kind of does feel like Joker, then like the rest, and then a bunch of mix and match.
Oh, dude, it's so ugly, right? You've got
Yeah.
the new look Charlotte Hornets, which are like such a shitty team to play against. That kind of neuters the Kings. Although
Yeah.
the Hornets guys do become interesting against the Kings. You have the Rockets. You have the Timberwolves and the Celtics playing each other. Two great defensive teams. There's just so much growth. And then we have the king of the losers, Pacers versus Spurs. But that's actually like one of the more exciting games on the slate.
Yeah. Who do you like here?
Maxi.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I've been taking Maxi. My ranks have been set up for Maxi here. If Wemby, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. Wemby is probably going to play off-ball defense. They're not going to put him against like Duran, right? Like that's probably not what they're going to do. So he gets like some lazy ass like livers assignment on the defensive end, and he basically could go nuke on the offensive end because of it. But he's only going to play like 24 or 5 minutes. I'm not sure. Maybe the help side defense is enough to get 5 stocks, but I just don't. It seems like such a thin path on a 10 gamer to be betting on Wemby. Fox, Bam, Ant.
I think Bam for me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could twist my arm into Fox or Bam there, either or. You could sell me this pen on it being like, oh, it was Sabonis night last night. Now it's going to be Fox night tonight against the Hornets. Like
I don't know what's up with Fox right now, man.
He was hurt and then he came back, right? And then, yeah, what's up with this 25 burger here, or 25 minutes rather?
Oh,
7 fantasy
they got
points.
they got the shit kicked out of them
That
game. But if you could look even further down at those other box scores, like he hasn't broke 40 in a long time.
Huh.
But we still keep taking him here. Like, I wish we were more reactive in these streets. Like, why can't like the hoops guys just don't give a shit. They're just like projections, upload, playing.
Yeah, it's so true.
But lately, I think, have you seen these Boeing 737 9 MAX issues with the doors blowing off? I think some of these auto drafters are having issues with their planes lately.
I've not noticed.
Like, where's your quality control on your De'Aaron Fox rankings, boys? Like, what are we doing?
I like it. Curry and Kawhi for me here is kind of like the debate, and then Scotty is a slight tier below.
Curry's kind of having better games, but how about Kawhi Leonard against his old team, fresh off a contract extension?
Yeah, Underdog NBA account did him dirty with the picture that they chose for Kawhi.
Did they?
Yeah, like I'll pull it up in a second here. But he's like kind of like looking down and like licking. It was like kind of like a weird picture. Pretty funny though. I got a good.
Or is that
I got a good. Yeah, I don't know who it was to be honest, but I got a good kick out of it. Maybe the intention was to get a good kick out of it, so they did right by him.
They're good at they're great farmers over there.
Oh, it looks like Pete Carroll had a little bit of a presser here after no longer being head coach of the Seahawks.
Yeah, sorry about that, bud.
Well, I don't know. It's just okay, let's see. Who do you like here? Do you like going the Miles Turner route? Do you like the Chet upside? Do you like Kyle Kuzma?
I like Kyle Kuzma.
Okay. Yeah, that game environment just seems so fun.
If this was like 3 weeks ago, like Kyle Kuzma is like a 1-2 turn pick.
Yeah, it's fair. That is.
I mean, fair. I know I get that I just went on a whole Fox rant, about how his latest performance. So you do have to bake that in, but even without Halliburton, I think the Pacers only have one speed.
Yep.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Yeah, the Carroll quote that's circulating right now is "This league's about the players. Celebrate them because they are the NFL." Josh Norris just retweeted that one. Interesting. Yeah, I
Hmm.
wonder. I wonder if he still wants to coach. I mean, like he's pretty old, dude. Like
He is.
he had 14 years with the Seahawks. Like
I can't believe
I
it's
don't
been
know.
that long.
Yeah, maybe it's just like time to I don't know, mutually part. I find it very interesting the phrasing and the verbiage that you use to describe certain situations for certain players and or um, coaches opposed to like other ones. You know, like it was like Arthur Smith fired, like he's gone, like whatever, and then all the language for Pete Carroll is he's out as head coach. Like like it's not like he was fired. It's not like, but it's the same thing. Hero goes there. We're getting a huge DeRozan fall. Should we just take it, or do we like some other people here more?
No, I don't like the DeRozan stuff at all. I
Okay,
think
let's take
Bi or
BI.
Vassell.
Yeah. Oh, Vassell. Interesting. You like Vassell tonight? I have such
I'm
a
a big
hard
time
time
Vassell stan.
projecting. Okay, I have a hard time projecting what the Spurs are going to do from a rotation standpoint. Like,
Well,
what's up with Keldon Johnson, man? Like, just let him have the ball all the damn time. Like,
I mean, the Vassell rotation stuff is generally consistent. It's just like he himself, what's his offensive usage going to look like? And
right.
against Detroit, I think I don't know how often he's getting clicked. I don't know if this is straight ADP, so it does look like I don't know how often people are overlooking him, or what's the cause of this, but you could always do well, I guess we got Bi. I was gonna say a cheeky Zion, but that feels bad. I would need to look at Chad's correlation sheet, which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, our boy Chad, aka Lee, in the Underdog Streets, has a sheet that tells you who correlates well and who does not correlate well with their teammates on the floor for
Interesting.
fantasy purposes. He just posted an updated one there. What do you think here?
TJ McConnell.
I mean, for the bit, man.
Dude, it's not even for the bid. He's the best player on the slate.
How many stocks? Higher, lower? I wonder what it's set at, and I'm gonna guess 2 even. And if it is, I'm immediately hammering a higher.
Yeah, we'll build a pick 'em if it's at 2.
Oh, these cowards! Do they not? They don't have anything.
No, everybody's shit scared of the TJ McConnell like ceiling outcome.
Not me.
um,
I'm scared that I'm gonna will be on measure with my TJ McConnell exposure.
if DeJounte doesn't go tonight, like, does that make you want to boost up anyone else from Atlanta, like Jalen Johnson or something?
Probably
like
Jalen
that?
Johnson.
Yeah, might make him a nice 6th round pick there as well. Just thinking through some other ones while we're talking about it. Man, RJ Barrett had like back-to-back career games. Just crazy.
Dude, that trade might have. I mean, I think most people liked it for the Raptors. I certainly did, but it was more for the IQ stuff. But they're both playing. I mean, that was just such a good fit for the Raptors, and low key a good fit for the Knicks too. The way that just they're currently structured, I still like the Raptors return more, but it's pretty good trade there for both sides. I'm just waiting. Oh, he couldn't hear anything. He still can't.
Hello?
You're with us.
What the hell? I just plugged in these ones. I lost you at like oh, I know what's going on. Hold on. Okay, I got you now.
Hello.
Okay, there we go. I lost you at like the structure of the deal. Yeah. The you don't like the Knicks side of it, or you think it worked out for both sides?
I think it's low key working for both, but working way better for the Raptors as most people expected. But it does kind of take away from our boy Scotty, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So, kind of have to adjust for that.
I think it's interesting because like the pendulum swing on Scotty this season has been like back and forth and like really slow because the models were like, hey, they didn't adapt enough for Point Scotty. So if you got ahead of Point Scotty and you were taking him in like the third and second round when he probably should have been a first rounder, you had some winning weeks there. And now if you're kind of like eating him at that 1-2 turn still now, you're just kind of like flat out wrong and you're chasing your tail a little bit now. So it's kind of like the models haven't caught up either way. And maybe today's the first day because, it's a back to back, it's a 10-game slate that he's appropriately falling a little bit.
Yeah, they've got him the models that I'm working with pretty appropriately ranked. So ADP seems good today for him.
Is the pool open for our guy Cole today? You guys poo-pooed it last night. I'm the fucking pool whisperer. I told you guys pool was going to ball out, and I still took Killian Hayes instead of him last night.
What the hell did he do last night?
Dude, he 24 points. He's a real basketball player.
24 and 5. All right, not bad. No.
Yeah, only 29 minutes. Pool party, baby.
You guys have fun with that. All right, we gotta wrap this up. As soon as we start talking about Jordan Poole, that's high time to get out of here.
Yeah, I want to get your last thought before we dip here. Hero, BI, slightly mispriced. You said Vassell, Tobias, and anything else down here? I like McConnell. In the chat, Nick keeps saying Benny Math as well. Benny Math legacy game incoming. Yeah, Matherin could be the guy there. Rocksauce pointing out 2 Q tags for the bigs on the Hawks as well there. So you got tons of usage.
I think is fine.
Okay, cool.
Capella's legit game time decision. But on Onyeka, I don't know. In ours, I like Zoobs though against Toronto with no bigs other than my boy Chris Boucher.
Is it a Chris Boucher bounce back spot?
Oh, many are saying.
I think after last night's experiment, and that's where I think they go to the starting lineup that has Gary Trent in it tonight. Yeah, like they're not starting Thad Young again. They're not whatever. They start
game, but
probably start Pascal at the 5 and then start Gary Trent. So yeah. IQ, Trent, Barnes. Yeah, whatever. I got it. Okay, that was for myself. Okay, Jalen Johnson then becomes kind of like maybe we should be moving him up a little bit there. All right.
Yeah, it'll be
anyone else? Anyone else you want to get overweight or shout here? I like the Jaden Ivey.
Cover boy. Yeah, Jaden Ivey played really well. He was sometimes a 6th-round pick yesterday. But the cover boy yesterday, Boyan, is in consideration today.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, man, he had an explosive first quarter and a bit, and then it just fell off a cliff. He had like 23 points, and then he finished with 26. I have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melton's still Q tag. That's interesting of note because we're kind of like jumping in on, the Philly pieces. Like Melton could be a nice little one too in that same game if he's able to go. But if he doesn't go, it's Kelly Oubre night, right? 37 minutes, 30 minutes.
He's definitely in the 6th for me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of value opening up here if you keep your ear to the streets, but it's not like the big sexy stuff we're accustomed to with like Q tags at the top of the board. It's just like cheeky one-offs in the 6th round.
Right.
Cool. All right, dude. Any words for the people? Any parting shots here?
Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow for a little rankings and chill sesh in the morning. So come hang out. That'll be, we're looking at 11:30 Eastern tomorrow.
Okay, 11:30 Eastern, badges only. Show him at the door. Nez will decide whether he lets you in or not. Appreciate everybody being here. Do us a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, and consider being a member so you can check out those streams there. And as promised, man, tons of stuff coming. We'll do Friday's going to be the double dip, Peach channel, then our channel, same usual time slots. That's 12 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Eastern right after, 2 back-to-back 1-hour shows. coming your way. And then we got some irons in the fire, some good things happening on our end that we think is going to keep us around for a bit here. And, some details on that sort of stuff to come in the future here. So, yeah, good place for the channel, good place for the community, and lots more coming your guys' way. Appreciate your support. Love you guys. Everybody's favorite time of the show? Oh, the end. Peace.